Stop for a moment and think about the last time you felt overwhelmed by pain or suffering as if life had suddenly lost all meaning. In my deep study of Carl Jung's work, I have found that he offers profound wisdom on how suffering can lead us not into despair, but toward a richer understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Jung was one of the first to truly recognize suffering as not just an unfortunate experience, but a pivotal moment of psychological transformation. I want to share with you why that matters now more than ever, because our modern world often tries to numb or avoid suffering rather than engage with it. And yet Jung reveals that within suffering lies the seed of meaning and growth. Reflect with me on Jung's clinical observations, where he witnessed patients wrestling with deep emotional pain and existential crises. Rather than dismissing their suffering as mere pathology, he treated it as a doorway to the unconscious, an invitation to greater self-awareness. In fact, Jung saw that many of the psychological disorders he encountered were symptoms of what he called a failure to find meaning amid suffering. This is incredibly relevant in today's society, where many people feel lost, disconnected, or empty despite comfort and material success. Jung believed that these crises are the soul's alarm bells urging us to look beneath the surface. From my perspective, engaging with Jung's work reveals a striking truth. Meaningfulness emerges when we allow suffering to open us up to the unconscious aspects of ourselves we have buried or denied. One of his key concepts, the process of individuation, is exactly this journey of integrating our shadow, the rejected or unknown parts of the psyche, brought to light often through suffering and conflict. Jung studied numerous cases where seemingly devastating pain became the catalyst for profound personal transformation. For example, a young woman Jung worked with suffered from intense depression and felt completely alienated until she began exploring her dreams and unconscious symbols with him. Through this, Jung facilitated her conscious encounter with the painful parts of herself, revealing hidden potentials and an authentic sense of purpose that had been obscured by her suffering. This idea flies in the face of the popular notion that suffering is simply something to be endured or avoided. Instead, Jung invites us to view suffering as a vital aspect of the human experience that can deepen our relationship with meaning itself. Another surprising revelation in Jung's work is his emphasis on symbolic interpretation. He showed that nightmares, fantasies, and even physical symptoms often contain symbolic meaning that speaks to our inner psychological struggle. By learning to interpret these symbols, we can unlock messages from the unconscious that illuminate the path through suffering. This is why Jung invested so much in methods like dream analysis and active imagination, tools that allow us to dialogue creatively with the unconscious contents stirred up during difficult times. Imagine suffering not as a blind abyss, but as a dark garden where beneath the thorny surface, delicate new life can sprout with care and inner attention. From my research, it is clear Jung's approach offers a practical framework grounded in respect, patience, and courage that anyone can begin to apply. The first step he recommends is to face suffering openly, rather than repress or deny it. This means allowing yourself to feel the pain fully while observing the emotions and images that arise without judgment. By naming and acknowledging the suffering experience, we prevent it from unconsciously controlling us. Next, Jung proposes engaging with the inner symbols that emerge from our unconscious through dreams, art, or journaling. This symbolic dialogue helps to translate the raw experience of pain into a language our conscious mind can understand, revealing what the psyche is calling us to attend. For example, if you notice recurring dream themes of loss or darkness, explore what personal meaning these images might hold for you. Then comes perhaps Jung's most challenging but empowering insight, integrating the shadow aspects that suffering uncovers. This means accepting parts of ourselves we might normally reject, like vulnerability, fear, or sadness, and seeing them not as flaws, but as essential facets of our humanity and sources of strength. From there, the path of individuation unfolds, a process of becoming whole through conscious engagement with all parts of the self, including those revealed by suffering. I want to encourage you to trust this journey and to recognize, like Jung did, that meaning in suffering is not a quick fix or a simplistic silver lining. It is a slowly unfolding transformation that often requires patience, honesty, and support from others who understand these depths. Jung's wisdom reminds us we are not alone in our pain, but connected to a vast archetypal framework that underlies human existence. To summarize Jung's profound teaching, suffering can become a source of meaning when we face it consciously, interpret its symbolic messages, and integrate the shadow aspects it reveals. This transforms suffering from meaningless pain into a dynamic process of psychological growth and individuation. When applied with openness, Jung's approach has the power to radically change how we relate to our darkest experiences, offering hope for renewal rather than despair. Tomorrow, we will explore the next essential question in your Jungian journey. How does the transcendent function help resolve inner conflicts? Since this function is precisely what mediates opposing parts of the psyche and supports the individuation process you began engaging with today. Understanding this will deepen your ability to find harmony from within and continue transforming suffering into meaning. If you found this exploration of Jung's insights helpful, please like, comment your reflections, and subscribe for more journeys into his psychology. I look forward to continuing this intimate conversation with you tomorrow and helping illuminate the path through Jung's timeless wisdom.